Now that our house is built, we can look at giving it some more context, more specifically the site itself. And uh, generally, I like to build a much larger site than the boundaries of the property, just to give a little bit of context. And then we'll show in another video how to bring the boundary lines back in to use for reference. So I'm going to go to my CAD file, and you can see put together a quick generic site plan for this project. So we have our setback, property lines, we have some hardscape, some driveway and roads, and we're going to bring all that information in as the time comes. So what I also have drawn is this arbitrary box that I put around the site. It really does not need to be very specific, just trying to grab something of a little bit of a bigger snapshot than just my boundary line itself. So you can make it whatever you want, as exact as you want, doesn't really matter. But we're just going to use this just kind of as our guide for how big we want to build the site. But I do want to grab my property line at this point. Actually, more specifically, I want to grab the corner of my house just to give a reference. So you can see I'm putting this line right here to the corner of the house, just so we can keep everything square when we do our importing and whatnot. So again, I'm going to W block this out. It doesn't really matter where it goes, just as long as you know where it does go. And then we'll go back into our SketchUp file. And now we'll start getting into some of these pieces that I have hidden down here, and really more specifically this piece. And this is just kind of my earth, if you will. And you can see that I have it set to a layer called Site Earth. It's not super important that this is followed right now. What I do want is to show you that I have a lot of layers set up, especially for site work. And you can see I have this site earth set up. What's great is I can turn it on and off. So maybe I want to deal with the model and you have a very convoluted site that you just need to turn off. It's just a great way to be able to control items. So let's go in here. I'm going to double click and to get into the file. And I'm going to turn the rest of my model off. And what I want to do now is import again that file that we had just exported from AutoCAD, and you can see here it is, and I have again my reference line, or excuse me, my reference point, and it just goes right to the edge of the house, so we can plop it right there. So now we know, again, we're trying to keep everything square. I'm going to actually explode this, and I can erase my reference now because we have it in place. And I'm going to hit Control C to copy this outline, and I'm going to come into here and hit Control V, and I'm actually going to just move this out of the way. It's more of a placeholder, really. And then I'm going to select my lines and run my face command. And I generally give a depth of about 10 feet. It just seems to give a good base for the house to sit on, so it's not just you know, say a flat 2D plane. It just kind of looks, you know, weak or whatnot. So it's just gives a nice depth to it. And I actually want to grab this top plane. I'm gonna hit Control C to copy it, and then I'm going to delete it because I want that in a different layer. So I'm going to grab, triple click this to copy everything, hit B for my paint bucket, and hold alternate for my eyedropper. Select this charcoal color and paint my base. And then we're going to delete this because we don't need that reference anymore. Then I'm going to come into here in my grass, and I'm going to move this to the side, and Control Shift V now pastes that top plane back in place, and I can paint that grass and delete this. And so you can see very quickly I've given an anchor to the house, and it's really starting to feel a little bit better, even just that little bit of work. Now in subsequent videos we'll go through and add in the driveway, the roads, maybe some patios and pools back here, so we can really start getting into even some more of the touchy-feely things that really help solidify a model and really ground it in what it needs to do.